5 strategies to have success in relationships and business. Here we go. All right, now I'm no relationship expert, but I know the same 5 success strategies I've used in business can also be applied to dating and relationships. I've been in a relationship for about 4 months, and I know that these 5 success strategies have helped me out tremendously. Number 1 is to engage in what's called active listening. And how do we do it? Well, we ask questions. We open the other person up. In a relationship, we talk to our significant other. We ask, we listen, we give support, we give feedback when they ask for it. You're working with your employees, or you're working with other vendors or contractors, whatever it is. You want to hear what their vision is. What do they want to create? Whatever widget you have, whatever product or service you're creating, how is it going to help them with their vision? And the only way you can get to that place is if you engage in what's called active listening. Number 2 is to speak and act consciously. Now, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And sometimes when I say stuff, it's coming straight from my mind, and I'm not saying it with my heart. So how do I drop into my heart? I see that person as if they're part of my family. I look through their eyes. I make very specific eye contact, and my business relationships are the same as my romantic relationships. When you start seeing people differently, the world around you starts to show up differently. Number 3 is focus on that person one-on-one. Now, what do I mean by that? Most people have a cell phone, they're looking at it, they got Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Goink, all these other social media platforms, whatever it is, they're looking at this instead of looking at you. I know we're in the Snapchat generation, everybody's got to Snapchat their food, but listen, one-on-one is far more powerful than a lot of those superficial, virtual things that we do to just distract ourselves. I encourage you to get deep with somebody and really hear them out. And to do that, you gotta go one-on-one. It may be a little uncomfortable for you, but it's okay. We're in this together. Number 4 is practice appreciation. Now, practicing appreciation is a challenge for some people. For people that their primary love language is words of affirmation, this is a lot easier. How can you appreciate your romantic or your significant other? How can you appreciate your employees and your business? Take a time out each day to do what I call words of appreciation. I have 3 people in the morning that I write on a list every single morning of who I'm going to appreciate. Could be something as simple as sending an email, maybe getting on a FaceTime with somebody, or meeting somebody in person and just letting that individual know how much I appreciate them. You want to incorporate that too. Number 5 is to be flexible. And what do I mean by that? Well, it's one of the worst traits we can have as human beings is self-righteousness. We always want to be right. And we set ourselves up to lose in order to be right. Maybe you've been in a relationship over and over, and the longest relationship you've been in has only lasted like 6 months. Because you're always looking at that person as doing things that aren't good enough for you. And you're keeping a score, right? And when you keep a score, it's hard to be flexible. When you keep a score, it's easy to be self-righteous. When you keep a score, you're not living in intention, you're living in reaction. Because everything you're hyper-vigilant and focused on, you're focused on them failing you and not living up to this standard that you've created in your mind. So what does be flexible mean? It means going out into the world with open arms, not living in reaction. In the relationship, there's 2 people with very different perceptions oftentimes. Men and women, we think a little bit differently, okay? I don't believe we're on different planets, like men are from Mars, women are from Venus, but I do think we think differently and we communicate a lot differently most of the time. You know what I'm talking about, ladies. In business, we have to be flexible. Maybe somebody doesn't show up on time and they had something happen to where they weren't able to do the presentation that you asked for, or your boss has these commands over you and you just feel like you're just hustling so much and nobody appreciates it out of you. Just be flexible, be open. So as you can see, all these 5 principles can not only be applied to relationships and dating, but also in business. It's all about being a good human being. And the more you improve yourself, the more that significant other, if you haven't attracted them in yet, is going to show up for you, and the better your business is going to be because you are that large version of who you are. Hopefully this was helpful. Give it a big thumbs up. I'm Drew Canole. As always, remember we're in this together, and I'll see you next week.